Good afternoon, everyone. I thank KSASI for giving me this opportunity to talk on this subject. Dissertation is basically a research project to be completed by a postgraduate student in order to get his degree. The word thesis is also synonymously used sometimes with this, but strictly speaking, thesis means it is for a PhD degree. So the main idea is to introduce the postgraduate student to research methodology and instill research mind in them. So for all practical purposes, we can equate dissertation topic to a research project, research topic. When postgraduate students newly get admitted in the course and he is asked to choose a dissertation topic, he gets confused, doesn't know where to start. I feel he must read a lot. The keywords are read, read, and read. He must read the latest journal articles. Just reading the textbooks is not sufficient because textbooks contain already established facts and usually they are more than 5 to 6 years old. Attending journal clubs also helps where they discuss about the journal article and dissect it to know the flaws and good points about it. I suggest you to refer to two websites. One is from our KSCASI, Karnataka State Chapter of Association Surgeons of India. Our association has got a beautiful website. Another is my own, lakshminh.in. Here you can find various resource material. Of course, there are other websites where you can go and search for useful information. Your teachers and seniors also will help you and guide you. This is the website of KSCASI. Here, there is a tab for research methodology. If you click over that, it opens this. There are various research resource material here, videos of the workshops, what we used to conduct previously. And there is a research methodology workshop tab is there, and book which can be downloaded free of cost. They're all available here, and open each and every one of these tabs and find out the resources available. Go through them and you will know sufficiently good knowledge you will gain. This is my own website. On the left side, you can see the calculators which I have created using the MS Excel, and you can do all these calculations here. In the second column, there are links to useful calculators. This will be useful after doing your study and while giving the results and analyzing it. And there are free softwares available on website. It gives links to all of them. And here also there is a research methodology workshop. If you click over that, this will open this page. See here, the left side, we have given all the PowerPoint slides, PowerPoint presentations we used to use in our workshop. On the right side, the voiceover, that is the videos of the same presentation are available. Please click each and every one of these links, go through systematically from 1 to 11, and that will give you an idea what is research, how to go about it. It has it has various questions like why one must do research, what is how to find evidence, what is evidence-based surgery, how to appraise a paper, how to conduct a research, write a protocol, how to convert it into good scientific paper. All these informations are available here. Please go through each one of the links. This is the book published by our association KSCASI 2 years back, and it contains, it's a small book. It concisely describes the research methodology. Again, it is on the same subject. Please download it and read from page 1 to last page. You'll get an idea about the research methodology. While reading journals, you must select last 4 or 5 years journals. There is no point in choosing some 20-year-old journal because that whatever controversies would have been there would have been settled by now. That research question is already answered. For each journal, there will be table of contents. Go through the table of contents, but you can scan through actually very quickly and see the topics. If any one of these topics interests you, just click over that. It will give you abstract. Abstract and table of contents are free for all the journals. You can get it free online, but getting the full article may cost you. You may have to pay some subscription fee for that, but don't bother about it because there are other ways of getting it free. Your college library may help, or if you cannot get, you can contact one of us in the scientific committee. We will get you that free article. For example, while going through this previous journals, we found there is some controversy about following up the postoperative patients physically and telephonically. They say if you don't follow them up physically, the patients may have higher complication rate. Now, the research question would be whether telephonically followed up patients have more complications. So this is a good research question. You can design a study accordingly. I insist, while studying the journals, concentrate more on systematic reviews, meta-analysis, and also, of course, RCTs. These systematic review and meta-analysis, they highlight more on controversies which exists, the gap of knowledge, what is known, what is not known, and those gaps will be highlighted, and that will give you impetus to the study. So you will get an idea what topic you have to choose. Once you have collected a few articles which interest you, you think it can be a topic, you can discuss them in journal club, where your seniors and teachers, they will be there. They will help you to dissect the article, tell you about the plus points and not so good points, negative points, flaws, all those things they will discuss. For example, I thought the placing a drainage after colorectal anastomosis is a straightforward thing, but after looking at this journal club article, it is highlighted that this is not a settled issue. There is some controversy about the placement of the drainage. So now you get a research question like this, and sometimes you can think laterally, use the same thing, prophylactic drainage. Here it is colorectal anastomosis. You can choose some other anastomosis, maybe ileal anastomosis, or it could be some abscess, something like that. So that will stimulate you and gets you idea about choosing some of the research topics. See, even this research, these journal clubs also are conducted by KSASI regularly, and once in 2 months now on Zoom platform. Please attend all those journal clubs. You will get an idea. While reading, just see what is the issue being studied in these articles, in these studies. And once you have seen what is the issue, then you should get some background information of that particular subject. Whatever subject you have seen there, you should read about that particular topic, get some background information. How to get the background information from internet, we will discuss a little later. And what you must see is what is lacking in the field, that is the lack of knowledge. Some knowledge is already established, but in some areas there is controversy. It's not fully known whether what is it. So this gap in the knowledge will serve as a good research question. So depending on that, so you must choose what you have to do, and you have to decide, design your study. So think of the conclusion, what you may be giving at the end of your study. It may be positive or negative, that's a different story, but think of it and see whether it is appropriate and clinically relevant. If you take some topic, something like laparoscopic cholecystectomy is superior to open cholecystectomy in terms of less pain, early return to work, etc., it may not be relevant clinically now, because these facts have been established beyond doubt. Level 1 evidence already available for this. So it's a useless topic. And you start with saying something, you think some procedure is useful, but your data at the end of the study says that procedure is not useful. You get a negative result. Don't hesitate to conclude negatively. Even the negative conclusions are as good as positive conclusions, because you have to give the conclusion whatever your data says. Don't hesitate to publish. I said you must have background information. How to search? There are various ways. Google search is very popular, but the problem is it gives plenty of pages, thousands of pages virtually, and it is very difficult to choose what you want from these thousands of pages. and because it is highly non-specific. As far as our medical knowledge is concerned, this PubMed, Scopus, Embase, these are databases which have all the journal articles. So go to one of these websites. Of course, there may be other databases also you can try. And while searching, use Boolean operators. What these Boolean operators does, it narrows down your search results. It focuses what you want, and it is quite fast because it is narrowed. Please note that Boolean operators are typed in uppercase, that's in capital letters, and or not, and not, parentheses, then inverted commas. These are called Boolean operators. How to use this we have discussed very well in our workshop. Please go through those videos which I pointed out earlier. You will get an idea how to use this Boolean operators. Using this, you can get the information. Once you have got sufficient information and narrowed down onto a few topics, what you can do, you can discuss it with your seniors and with your teachers. They will guide you which is the better one. Of course, don't forget statisticians. Better to involve statisticians right from the beginning. They will give you the idea how the data to be collected, what type of data to be collected, all those inputs they will give. That's very useful. Now you have got a research question after studying and doing all these things. Now, once you have chosen some research question, think of these two. Remember these two acronyms, FINER and PICARD. FINER stands for feasibility, interesting, novel, ethical, and relevant. Your research question should satisfy all these criteria. If you choose some disease, something like a Crohn's disease, which may be rare in your area, you may get 1 or 2 cases per year, then you may not be able to enroll sufficient number of subjects into your study, then it's not a feasible topic. There is what is known as sample size calculation. It is there is a formula for that, and different types of studies and different types of data have got different types of sample sizes. Your statistician will help you how to calculate this, and he will tell you what is the sample size required for your study. If you cannot get sufficient number of patients enrolled, your study or your research question is not feasible one. Sometimes the topic is very useful, quite interesting, but the problem is you don't have the facility. For example, robotic surgery may be interesting and new topic, but your setup, your hospital doesn't have a robot. Again, it's not a feasible topic. Time and money also you must think, because sometimes some of the investigation may be quite costly, which you or your patients may not afford. Or you cannot study something like a 5-year survival or 20-year recurrence rate, all those things, because you have to submit your dissertation within 2-year period. So you cannot choose such topics. Those are not feasible one. The topic, the research question should be interesting one. It should be useful, and it is not already answered. I already gave one example, laparoscopic cholecystectomy, better than open cholecystectomy in terms of early return to work, less pain. These are all established facts. It doesn't interest anymore our readers. So don't choose such things. It should be relatively new. There should be controversy. The moment they look at your title, they should get interesting. So that's type. The topic should be novel. See, research is finding out something new. So ideally, the research topic or your dissertation topic should be completely new, which nobody has done till now. But with so many postgraduate students, it is virtually impossible or not practicable at all to find new topics for all the postgraduate students, because there are so many. So path-breaking new topics may not be available. Instead, what you can do, you just read such good articles and some study which is done elsewhere in the world, maybe USA, UK, Germany, see that, and whether similar data is available in Indian scenario. If it is not available, then you can go for it. The same protocol you can repeat in your hospital, give your data, and this is a new cohort. So this is also considered as new. You can choose something like this. Actually, such type of topics only more possible and more practicable. And sometimes what happens, some study would have been done with some less number of patients, say 20, 40, something like that. And if you repeat the same study, same protocol with a higher number, maybe 800, 1000, that is also considered a novel, because this is going to strengthen already given conclusion of the particular formal study, or you may be having a longer follow-up than that original study. This is also considered new, and this will add new data into science. So this is also acceptable. And the importance of ethics in research cannot be overemphasized. The permission from the institutional ethics committee for your study is a must. You cannot ignore it. Human beings are not experimental animals, and you should consider every patient with dignity. And to know what is the ethics, what are the ethical principles applied to research, please go to the website of World Medical Association and what is known as Declaration of Helsinki. Please read about this. You will get an idea what is ethics and how to follow it. The important message here is the health of my patient will be my first consideration, and this consideration overrides all other consideration. Just to find, just for the sake of study, you should not harm any patient. That is the ethics. The outcome should be relevant, clinically relevant, I should say. See, some of the studies, they pick up some biochemical marker for some inflammation, you say, and they are going to study it, and in the protocol, they are not going to give any data on the clinical outcome. The biochemical marker may decrease with some drug, but patient clinically hasn't improved, pain hasn't come down. So such things are useless. They are not clinically relevant. Another classic example given is some chemotherapeutic drug. It decreases this tumor size, but the data doesn't give any idea or any information about the quality of life improvement or survival benefit, how long patient survived without recurrence. These things are not mentioned at all. So this is clinically totally irrelevant. Whether patient dies with 5 centimeter tumor or 10 centimeter tumor, it doesn't make much difference. So it should be clinically relevant. You should choose such topics only. Your research question may fall into one of these categories. It may be directed towards some treatment, maybe medical treatment or surgery, or it may be useful in preventing certain diseases, or it may be directed towards the diagnosis of disease through some investigation modality or something, or you are going to find what is the etiology of a particular disease, or studying the prognosis. All these fields, they offer good research questions, and you can think of this field for your topic. Here you must remember PICOT. P stands for population. What are the population you are going to study? What are the demographics? What are the health status? All those things. And intervention, what you are going to use in your study, whether any test you are going to use, or surgery or medical treatment, etc. Whether you have a comparative group, the comparison with what? No treatment, that may be placebo, or it may be another treatment, it may be another surgery, something like that. So that comparative group also you must know, and what outcome you are going to study, whether it is recurrence rate, mortality, or improvement in the pain score, all those things. Sometimes you also include what is the time frame for your research study. That's also important. Here I must say, integrity is the most important attribute of a researcher. So don't lose your integrity. Whatever data says, you just give conclusion. See, once Warren Buffett said, when his HR team, while employing some new employee, look at these three things: energy, intelligence, and integrity. If that person lacks integrity, don't even be bothered about the earlier two, and that will cause great damage to the company if that person doesn't have integrity. Similar thing applies to research also. Don't cook up your data just to give some conclusion or just to please someone. Whatever data you says, you must conclude accordingly. It is better if you choose a topic with the intention of publishing it later. After completion of your study, convert your study into a scientific paper and publish in some good journal. If you think the sample size is less or follow-up period is less, someone else who comes after you can continue it, and after getting sufficient data, you can publish it with a joint name. and check for the permissions to be required. Some of the studies may involve animals or may involve radiotherapy, radiation. So for such things, there are specific permissions required from appropriate authority. Please check all these things and get it approval. Beware of plagiarism. Plagiarism is projecting someone else's idea or data and project it as your own. Don't do that. It's a crime. It's illegal thing. Whether you are doing it knowingly or unknowingly, this is a illegal thing only. It is punishable. Don't do that. And if you are using someone else's data, mention it, give citation, and give due credit to that original author. That's how you should go about it. And planning is very, very important. If you are still doubtful whether you can do this study or not, go for a pilot study for about 3, 4, or 6 months and plan properly. And during the pilot study, you know whether your planning is right or not, or whether you are going to face any problems. And if some problem is there, you can get prepared with an answer while doing the study proper. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by saying the choosing a dissertation topic is like choosing a research topic. Go through all possible resources. I have mentioned a few. There may be more. Go through it. The keywords are read, read, and read. You must read sufficiently, plan properly, spend sufficient time in this planning period, get sufficient knowledge and data, and shortlist a few topics, and then acquire background information on those topics and those areas, and discuss with your seniors, your teachers, and don't forget statisticians. So with that, you will come to a proper research question, and while finalizing the research question, give attention to Finer and PICART criteria, which I have already mentioned. If still you have got doubt whether you can do or not, you just go for a pilot study for a short period, and then you will definitely able to finalize a particular topic. And best wishes, you will definitely do well. Thank you.